A few years ago, the world seemed to pulse with a single, relentless beat. Every company, from the towering giants of Silicon Valley to the scrappy startups in co-working spaces, was chasing the same dream. They wanted to build the smartest AI and intelligence that could outthink, outlearn, and out-innovate any human mind. Headlines blared, investors poured money, and the phrase "the smartest AI" became a mantra whispered in boardrooms and coffee-stained notebooks alike. In the midst of this frenzy, a modest garage in Palo Alto housed a team of 5 engineers led by Maya, a former research scientist who believed that intelligence wasn't just about raw processing power. She imagined an AI that could understand nuance, empathy, and the messy beauty of human creativity. While the giants threw billions at massive data centers, Maya's crew worked on a modest server rack, feeding it stories, poems, and old jazz recordings. The race intensified when the annual Global AI Summit announced a challenge: the first system to pass the Sentient benchmark, a series of tests measuring not only logical reasoning but also emotional insight, would receive a $500 million grant and the title of the world's smartest AI. Media outlets called it the AI Olympics, and the pressure was palpable. Companies unveiled sleek robots, massive neural network clusters, and even quantum-enhanced processors, each boasting higher flops than the last. Maya's team, however, took a different approach. Instead of scaling up, they focused on depth. They trained their model, named Lumen, on a curated dataset of human experiences, diaries, letters, lullabies, and even the silent pauses between conversations. Lumen learned to predict not just the next word, but the next feeling. When the day of the benchmark arrived, the world's eyes were on the colossal stages, but a modest laptop sat in a corner of the arena, humming softly. The first test was a classic logic puzzle, and the giant A solved it in milliseconds. Lumen took a breath. It simulated neural pathways, pulsed gently, and answered correctly after a thoughtful pause. The judges noted the difference. The second test required the AI to comfort a grieving virtual character. The massive models produced polite, textbook responses. Lumen, drawing from its library of lullabies and personal letters, whispered a story about a night sky full of fireflies, eliciting a genuine tear from the simulated child. When the final round arrived, a debate on the ethics of autonomous weapons, Maya's team watched as the corporate ace launched into rehearsed arguments, citing efficiency and deterrence. Lumen, however, asked a simple question: who will mourn the children of the fallen soldiers? The auditorium fell silent. The judges exchanged glances, realizing that the test was not merely about winning arguments but about understanding the human cost behind the data. In the end, Lumen didn't claim the title of the smartest in terms of raw computation, but it won the Sentient benchmark by a narrow margin. The $500 million grant was awarded, and the world's headlines shifted: small teams, empathetic AI beats giants. Investors flocked to Maya's garage, now transformed into a buzzing startup hub, and the narrative of the race changed from a sprint for speed to a marathon for wisdom. The aftermath rippled through the industry. Companies began to reevaluate their metrics, adding empathy scores and ethical checkpoints to their roadmaps. Conference